wonder why it's so goofed up. I think you're moving too quick.
Supposed to wait?
That's all me.
Okay.
I think you cut my hand, but okay.
By show of hands, how many people here have ridden in an elevator? As I thought, we all have. Whether you can't bear the thought of another flight of stairs or you are simply in a hurry, elevators are a convenience that recent generations have grown accustomed to. I recently had the pleasure of interviewing a woman who makes sure elevators are available wherever they are needed. Laura Turk, the branch manager at Kone Elevators, is this woman. As I mentioned, elevators are familiar fixtures in our modern lives. However, do you know how these fixtures end up in buildings or how they remain in service? There is a large demand for elevators, especially recently with the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires that reasonable accommodations be made for people with disabilities in public facilities. Elevators have proven to be a large and successful industry sector. As a business major, I was curious to learn how elevator companies operate in the business world. It was in Laura Turk's home that I learned of the vast business opportunities elevators offer. Following a nice dinner, we sat down in her living room and I began to ask her questions that I had prepared. In preparing for the interview, I thought about questions that would offer a look into Laura's everyday activities. The interview lasted nearly an hour, and within that time, I learned a great deal about Laura's job. She graduated from Texas A&M University with a technical degree in engineering and was hired directly from college by Otis Elevators. She worked there for 10 years, then quit to raise her family. About 4 years ago, she was approached in a restaurant by her former competitor, Kone Elevators, and offered a job. She accepted and has now been with Kone for a little over 3 years. Laura's job is to oversee everyone in her entire branch, which stretches from Temple to the Valley. This includes overseeing managers and supervisors of field technicians, the sales team, and administrators. In her daily routine, Laura ensures salespeople are on task by reviewing weekly schedules. She also aids in sales presentations to large customers, such as the new TPC JW Marriott in San Antonio. Checking her branch's financial statements and call-out documents are more of her daily tasks. Call-outs are the number of times maintenance has to be performed on a specific unit. She looks for units that seem to be unusually having high numbers of call-outs because this would flag a problem. Laura stated that her favorite part of her job was making sure that sales to large clients went through and going to the sites to see the installs. Her least favorite job, however, was having to meet with employees who are not doing their work properly. Kone calls these meetings coaching sessions. Laura said that these meetings can be enjoyable if the employee has the right attitude, but sometimes they feel that they have done nothing wrong and the interviews can go very badly. When this happens, she said the meetings can grow tense and unpleasant. Overall, Laura said that her job places a great deal of responsibility on her because her decisions affect a large group of people. Her daily decisions determine some families' livelihood. Ultimately, the main lesson I took away from this interview was to always treat everyone professionally and with respect. Due to the work ethic Laura displayed on her first job with Otis, other employers later sought her out. Her background and demeanor on the job got her in the door with Kone and is what has kept her on in her current position. I found that who you know will get you in the door, but what you know and how you communicate that knowledge is what will keep you with the company. Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Well, you should have